Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the show that still doesn't have a name. We've gotten lots of good ideas. I think right now we're kind of up in between, or some of our top names that we're looking at are Cheddar Chatter. We like that. Who Cut the Cheese with Grant and Taylor. I think that's one of my more favorite ones. Grant thinks it's a little too silly, but I think it's silly enough. Took us a second to actually get that when we were reading the comments. I'm like, who cut the cheese? That's kind of a strange name. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, that's good. So like always, if you have any suggestions for names, feel free to put them in the comments below. We just want to welcome everybody and say thank you for joining us. Quick little bit of information that we have going on right now that I want to make you guys aware of is we don't really do a lot in this show. It's not meant to sell anything, but when there's opportunities that arise, we want to make sure that we share that with you guys so that way you can take advantage of those and keep you informed. So let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick. I want to announce that, that Cheddar, OA Cheddar is going to be doing a buy one, get one free sale for the first month. This is an early Easter sale that we are doing. We haven't announced it out in any emails. This is actually the first time announcing it. So if you would like to add in another subscription or another 2 subscriptions into your sourcing list, OA Cheddar, just come into buy or to oacheddar.com. I'll go ahead and pull that up right here. Come to oacheddar.com, hit join a lead list. Okay. Go ahead and select whatever list you would like to join. Once you go to checkout, we are just going to have you put in a promo code called BOGO first. When you do that, hit apply, and you will see the discount taken right before you check out. So please go ahead and take advantage of that sale going on of the buy one, get one free.
Real quick, it does say 50% off your first month. However, that's how the coupon works. You've got to add 2 lists to cart, 2 OA Cheddar lists to cart for it to work. So yeah, you can't just buy one list and get 50% off. That coupon code won't work.
Yep, it will not work. Other than that, let me stop sharing real quick. And perfect. We got some exciting things to go over today. We have an exciting guest that should be arriving any moment now. He called me. He's on his way. He's actually going to be joining us live. And so I think he's here. So Grant, I'm going to just turn off my camera, my mic for a second. If you want to just take over, sure. And I'll be right back with our special guest.
I can do that. Cool. Well, hey guys, we do have a special guest. We're excited to bring him on. This is our new fraud investigator for OA Cheddar. He's a Hawaiian native. He specializes in taking down bad guys, actually has like a very lengthy career. He's actually, at least nationally, I would say probably internationally famous. And he loves justice, but not as much as he loves Jesus. And so we're really excited to have him out. I don't know if Taylor's got him ready or not, but it's justice for all. Gabe's on the call today. What's up, Gabe?
Almost there, Grant. We're just getting in. He's getting ready right now.
Cool.
A little, he really likes his looks, so he's just checking himself out real quick, make sure he's camera ready.
Cool. Well, yeah, you got to make sure he's ready since, he's got a brand to protect. And yeah, hopefully this is good for his career. But yeah, so we brought this guy in, guys, because there's just been some concerns, right? The industry is getting a little shaken up. It's getting a little busy with, I think the online arbitrage lead.
What is going on, brah?
What's up, bro? Dude, thank you for being here. The dog, the bounty hunter. We're so excited to have you as part of the team, man.
Glad to be here, bro. Glad to join the team, ready to bring justice to those fools, probably those ice smokers. We are ready. We're ready to bring justice out there.
Yeah, man. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing for OA Cheddar and just how you're, the type of investigative work you're doing for us.
Well, you know me, bro. I like justice. I hate fraudsters and I hate no-gooders. Okay. So I came and joined your team because I heard there's a problem that only the dog can fix. And that problem is some fraudsters out there who are taking advantage of good, innocent, hardworking entrepreneurs by selling them scams, selling them resold leads, leads that have been overexposed. They're taking their information and they're just not doing right things, bro. And I can't handle that, bro. You know how it is. So the dog is on the hunt. We're going to go get those fraudsters. I'm teaming up with OA Cheddar because OA Cheddar takes security seriously in their lead list business. And we're here to let all you fraudsters know the dog is coming. So you best be warned. And if I find you out there reselling our leads or any other lead list providers leads out there, I'll tell you right now, you're going to get bit. You're going to get bit by the dog and you ain't going to get back up. So that being said, Grant, boss man Grant, I got to get going because justice doesn't sleep, just like these streets. So I will talk to you. I'll be out there and I'll let you all know what we find.
Hey, thanks for joining us today, dog.
Thank you, really, everyone in the OA Cheddar space. Just know that you are protected with OA Cheddar by me and only me, the dog.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. So, all right, guys, if you guys appreciate the dog coming out this evening just to, represent, be a part of the company, join us in our efforts to take down fraudsters, stealing leads, buying leads and resell them. Could you just post in the chat, like, thank you, dog, or something that, so Taylor knows that, his act was worth it. So yeah, we were just talking the other day and we were like, wouldn't it be cool if we had the dog on the team? Yeah. So
we reached out to him and sure enough, he's retired right now and he came out and wanted to join the team and we're happy to have him. So yes, give it up for the dog, everybody. Really excited
for the dog. Cool. Well, that's fun. Well, go ahead.
Jessica walked in on me right in the middle of doing that in the middle of the wardrobe change. That was fun. my fiance is just wondering who on earth is the guy that she's married. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. We put together a little presentation. We hope that this is just going to kind of help facilitate the conversation and really just kind of help us get the message that we want to share with y'all right out. So Grant is going to share his screen and hop on over to our presentation. Heads up, we will be giving away t-shirts tonight. I know we missed it last week. I have the prize wheel ready to go. So make sure you stay on the live. We're going to spin the wheel. And for those who are live on the call, they're going to get a free t-shirt.
Well, not everybody, but if you win the wheel, right?
Yes. 2 people.
You got to give me the ability to share screen.
Oh man. Okay.
But yeah, like we'll pick 2 winners for merch.
Okay. Grant, you are live. You are the host, my friend.
Martin Goldberg said
by the extra paleness that came over my screen. Martin, my guy.
That hairy chest.
I don't know what you're talking about. The dog, he's got a good tan. It's winter time. It's only mid-March.
All right, I'm getting my share screen here ready to go. Let's just go. I'll just do full desktop.
I don't think I've ever been more thankful that there's less people in a live.
No, I wish we had recording. Okay, guys. So you already know about the offer for the BOGO. You guys can go and check out during the call or after the call. Buy one, get one free for the first month, right? After that, the free subscription will be charged. After a month, it'll be charged at the normal price. So the contents of this call is how to protect your business from OA lead scams with OA Cheddar's new fraud investigator. You just met him. That was the dog. The hint that we put in the email was woof. I don't know if anybody got it prior to that. So there's a problem, right? There's actually a couple problems. The first is there's fraudulent OA lead lists out there. So before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about some of the ways you can buy leads. You can hire your own virtual assistants, right? This has a higher cost per lead than like buying from a subscription list. But if you were to imagine paying $5 an hour, which is probably about average these days, it used to be about $2 or $3 an hour. Now we're kind of moving up towards about $5, $6 an hour for a really good lead generator. At $40 a day, that's 8-hour days, can produce you 10 good leads a day. Not even leads that you might buy every single lead, but just 10 good quality leads a day. You're going to pay about $4 per lead. Now, I will tell you that in the law of averages, and especially in the laws of, at least at what we've seen at scale, $4 a lead is not realistic for virtual assistants, not on average. We have, in fact, I will just say this, our best lead generators cost us significantly more than $4 an hour, like over, or $4 per lead. That's probably over double what that is. So that just gives you an idea, because the fact of the matter is, if someone can produce you 10 really good leads a day, 50 leads a week, you're not going to get away with paying them $5 an hour. They're going to go work for somebody else for closer to $6, $7, $7.50 an hour if they're capable of something like that. That's just our opinion. And I will preface this whole entire call with, we're not the only lead generation, lead list, providers. We're not like the best in the world. Like, we're good at what we do. We work really, really hard, but this isn't to come out and be like, hey, like we're doing everything right and everybody else is doing everything wrong. We're just saying, this is what we do right. This is what we see going on in the market and how we're trying to combat it. Okay. So I don't want you to think that we're trying to be egotistical or knock other people down necessarily. So you can also do your own lead generation. This is really relative, because it's how do you value your time? Hopefully you're valuing your time at a minimum of $25 an hour, but as a business owner, you should probably be valuing your time at like $100 to $200 per hour. And you need to create that mindset now, well before you actually become worth $100 or $200 per hour, because you're never going to become worth $100 or $200 per hour unless you believe and you act and you operate and you build your business with that in mind. How do I build a business that pays me $200 an hour because that's what I'm worth? Even when you're only making 10 or 15 or $20 an hour, you got to have that mindset. So, but if you did value your time at a mere $25 per hour, at $200 per day, 8-hour days, let's say that you were phenomenal and could generate 20 leads per day. I'm just assuming you're an absolute gangster at lead generation. That's $10 a lead. The other option is you can buy lead lists, which is the ultimate leverage. Okay. An example would be 200 leads per month at $149 per month. That's 75 cents per lead. It's minimal expense on your time. It's actually minimal expense on your pocket, because you're getting leads for the absolute cheapest you can possibly get them. Yes, there's more competition with lead lists. You're going to be seeing other sellers are going to be seeing the exact same leads as you. However, you can go do your own lead generation and maybe pay $10, $20 a lead, and maybe those leads are exclusive to you. Maybe they're not, right? So OA Cheddar 55, by the way, usually delivers about 250 leads per month per list. That's about the average.
Awesome.
Okay, so go ahead, Taylor.
So why are we talking about this, guys? Why are we bringing this out to discuss in this show? Well, there's two areas that we have seen where leads can be shared outside of the trusted organization that finds them, or outside of your own team. And so while we're talking about lead list providers and making sure that you're not getting scammed by phony lead list providers that are reselling data, we're also going to be talking about teams and how we so essentially some of the systems that we have in place in our own team to protect the data that we find and then share with all of our subscribers. But first, we want to talk about lead list providers that are selling that too good to be true package. And what we're talking about here is, if you're looking here on the screen, this is a screenshot from some different websites that we found. We went out recently and just took a look at the market, and we found a handful of these websites that were selling lead lists for an incredibly low amount per month. And we actually kind of broke down some of the math here. We're looking at this lead list here on the left for $1,251 a month. That is the revenue that they're bringing in. So they're selling their list at $139. They're providing 75 leads per week, and they're maxing it out to only 9 subscribers per list. Now, we can say with authority, because we've been doing this for the last 5 years, there is no way that you are organically searching and finding that many leads per week, per month, and only charging $139 a month for 9 subscribers. It's just not what it takes to produce a list. Our list costs, actually just to produce one of our lists, costs more than what any of these lists are bringing in total revenue per month. Now, granted, we all run our teams a little bit differently. We like to pay our teams well and take good care of them. We'll talk a little bit about more in the show. But when we're coming through, we're seeing these websites and we're like, there's just no way. How are you able to? I love the one in the middle, the $3,000 a month one, limited to 40 seats, $75 a month, and they're providing you over 100 leads per week. I just don't, there's no way that can be done. So the question got put in our head. Well, how is this possible? Okay. How efficient would you have to be able to run a team to be able to afford to sell it at such a low price and actually make any sort of profit? And Grant, I think, you broke down the numbers. So let me pass it back to you.
It's right here. Buy a lead list at 75 cents per lead. Now, depending on the list, it might be $1.50 per lead, or maybe even less than, that's based on 200. When you're buying leads from OA Cheddar, it's a little bit closer to maybe 55, 60 cents per lead. The only way to sell leads this cheap, in my opinion, and we're not saying that this is 100% factual, but well, I kind of am actually.
Yeah.
These people, I think, are buying leads. I think they're buying subscriptions at 10 cents on the dollar, and they're bringing in enough to make a profit, right? Mm-hmm. For example, this list at the bottom at $649.87 a month, delivering somewhere between 7 and 10 leads a day. I cannot pay my virtual assistants that little amount for that amount of leads. I can't. I have to pay. I have to pay more than that, significantly more. And that's just the wages. We're not talking about the software that's involved, the systems that are involved, the other employees that are involved to curate the data, prepare it, get it ready. You just can't deliver a list this cheap. Now, I can tell you, one of these on this screen, we have 100% factual proof evidence in a Google Drive. They are selling fraudulent data for a fact, right? Yep. I can tell you as of current, it's not our data, but they're frauds, right? And that's why I'm saying, and there's others out there. This is just an example. So the point we're really making, guys, here is when you're going out and buying leads, really be thinking about, who am I buying the leads from? Can they even make money? Like, if they're actually generating these leads themselves, can they even make money selling it for the price that they're making? Like, don't just look at the cost and what they're charging, but look at how much they're making. Can they make enough? Are they making enough money to even be able to produce the data and earn a profit? And I can tell you, I don't think any of these three here, these three different companies, are doing that. I'm sorry if one of them finds this video and thinks, oh, that's my website and I do everything, whatever. I don't really care. You're selling your leads too cheap then. And I don't know how you're making a profit. That's what I'll say to you. If this happens to be from your website and you're actually doing authentic work, I don't think you are.
Now, so we want to say that this was just from a sample that we did when we went out and looked at, who else is selling lead lists out there in the marketplace, little, market analysis. And I'll tell you right now, there's as many as we found, there's probably even more hidden in different social medias. The rise of Discord and Twitter and these other social media groups where sellers are starting to congregate more is, I think, just a breeding ground for scammy type websites. And on top of that, we have no problem sharing this. Recently, we're starting to see an uptick in subscriptions coming from people who are obviously trying to scam the system. This was coming from outside of the country. They were attempting multiple times with multiple different credit cards, obviously getting stolen credit cards. And luckily, we've changed our systems and our payment processor to be way more aggressive to block out those transactions, but yet they still try to attempt it. And so the question that we had is, how is this person outside of the country? How are they having access to all these credit cards? And at the same time, we see these websites popping up selling leads for extraordinarily cheap. And again, just our opinion, my opinion, maybe, I think the two are probably related. right? When you guys are clicking online and when you're giving out your credit card information, just like how you wouldn't give it to a stranger, you need to be careful on who you're providing that information to. If it's not a trusted source that you know and can pinpoint the owners, a business address to, then there should be some question marks raising in your mind, because there's probably a good chance that you're giving your personal information to somebody who has bad intentions. And when we start to see cards being used to try to make transactions to buy our lead list that are getting blocked, I think the two just go hand in hand. It's too much of a coincidence not to. So that's another part of this too, is we want to warn you guys, hey, not only could you be buying some leads that are already oversaturated and not getting the results that you're looking for and hoping for, but also you might be giving out your information to somebody that has some bad intentions. So but luckily we've put together a couple of tips to help you identify, a lead list source that is reputable and that you could be able to trust, and some easy things that you guys can follow.
Yeah. So here's 4 ways that you can detect fraudulent OA lead sources. The first is transparency. Do you know who they are, right? Do you know who's selling you the leads? Is it just a website that has a payment processor connected to it? Or is there a personality behind it? Right? You guys know at OA Cheddar, you're working with myself, Taylor, Gabe, Cindy, and everybody else that's in our organization, right? We're very transparent and open with you guys. We want you to know who we are. We're not trying to hide. And that's something that we're also seeing on these fraudulent websites that are selling recycled leads, right? Either stolen with stolen credit cards, right? Where they're not paying for the leads at all, or they're actually just buying the leads because they can buy them for 10 cents on the dollar, or 10 cents on the dollar compared to what they're selling them for. Is they're faceless, right? Discord, for example, right? This is a channel where people can just basically hide behind an avatar, an alias. You don't know who they really are, right? Don't buy leads from people, from faceless brands, faceless providers, right? Make sure you know who they are. The second one is, and I mentioned this already on the previous slide, can the provider actually make a profit if they're generating the leads organically? This has been super, super important in our company. We've pressed this in on our team so much over and over again, because it's one of the concerns we had 4 years ago. What if our team goes and buys leads from another source, right? And then provides them to OA Cheddar, and then we're out there hustling them. So and we'll talk about our systems in place, but this has been a concern for us for years. Now we're actually seeing it on the reverse end, where we believe they're coming to OA Cheddar and other providers. We've actually spoken with other providers, they have the same concerns. Okay. Other leadless providers have the same concerns. I'm not going to name them. That's not my place, but they have the same concerns, that their leads are being purchased from bad actors and resold somewhere else, right? They've had people raise the concern with them, and they've had to execute investigations. Okay, so can the provider make a profit if they're generating the leads organically? And I can assure you, some of them aren't. Okay, so website copy. Does the grammar and industry-specific language express the provider is an authority in the industry? Okay, some of these websites, if you go and just read through the sales copy, you're like, that's pretty weak. That language, that looks like a second language to whoever's selling these. So that's another possibility. It may not just be Americans that are actually posting up these websites. I think it's often foreigners, right? They don't really care whether your business is successful or not. They're just trying to make a quick dollar, right? And to bring in a couple $1,000s a month with overhead that's only a few hundred, that can be a very lucrative, fraudulent, business model.
Well, and we can talk about it, because we also personally, we know that can happen. So we had, in our team, we've had plenty of people come through our team, and any of those who are with us about 2 years ago now in October knew that we had a big change happen in our team, and we lost a handful of people who were, pretty vital to our team as far as being leaders and some of our first VAs that we ever hired, and they end up leaving. We end up finding out, again, because we develop a team culture that promotes honesty and rewards it. So we've heard from other of our team members that same person who we had a lot of trust in was wanting to go out and make a competing lead list business, because he understood that all I need to do is make a website, promise this, and then if I go and I can purchase these leads, I can then resell them. Or if I can try to poach different employees from other leadless companies, we can maybe be able to do our own thing. which is a problem because, you know, good on anybody who's going to actually organically do it. Kudos to you fully. But if your business model is, let me go and subscribe to a trusted lead list source where everyone is all playing a fair game and is showing trust to one another who are subscribed to the list, I'm going to go and subscribe to this and I'm going to go ahead and resell it. That's a horrible business model. That's going to lead to saturation in the market. It's going to lead to counterfeit, issues when it comes to credit cards. Because again, I would never trust somebody that I would never give my credit card information to somebody who I didn't absolutely know, or business.
Yeah. Yep. So trusted. Yeah. If you're buying leads, it should be from a trusted individual in the Amazon seller space, right? Someone who has a reputation of honesty and integrity and has earned the right to sell you leads.
And
lastly,
I want to also point out to it, because we've got, a message in the chat. There are great lead list providers out there. They are well known. They come highly recommended from trusted sources like Chris Grant and other people in the industry. We're not talking about those guys in any way, right? We're talking about the no name, no face, hidden behind a poorly put together website and offering way too many leads for the amount that it costs.
Yeah. Or the amount that the provider can earn off of the sale of those leads, based on their setup. So is the services, and that's the thing, I was going to say this real quick, 9 sellers per, that sounds really good. They're playing on your concerns, right? Everyone's concerned about the race to the bottom. And then they're taking advantage of you by saying, well, I'm only going to give this to 9 sellers. Well, yeah, but how many sellers got it from the provider that you stole it from? Right? It's lies. It's out and out lies. And yes, like Taylor said, there are good providers. OA Leads Pro, I think is a good one. OA Hunt, I think is on the top, fair. FBA Lead List. I don't know these. I don't know. We know them personally. We haven't seen their operations or anything like that, but they do seem to have a face to the brand. They don't seem to be hiding behind their website. Delivery model is the services delivered in a professional and transparent way, right? And I put example Discord. I don't think that's a really transparent way to promote yourself and promote your services.
Yep.
100%. Get to the next slide. All right. So problem number 2, sellers and legit providers are lacking proper security. Oh, see the sleeping security guard, right? Can't sleep on your security. Okay. Because it's not just lead list providers, it's sellers, right? Hiring and training and your own team of virtual assistants become increasingly popular. However, from what I can tell, a lot of sellers aren't doing their due diligence and actually doing what they should be doing to protect the data that they are providing access to, or the data that they're buying from their team. Just because you're willing to pay your virtual assistant a fair wage, right? Or even maybe above and beyond what's fair, doesn't mean that they're going to take the leads. They're not going to take the leads that they're delivering to you and also deliver them to someone else. Call that double dipping, triple dipping, right? If you're not doing the system, you don't have the systems in place that we're about to show you, you're just opening yourself up to all kinds of BS. So in the next few slides, we're going to talk about how OA Cheddar protects your business from OA lead scams. And we're doing this for the greater good. You guys, we have not really talked about publicly some of the things that we do inside of our own organization and how we secure our own data, because in all fairness, we didn't want to make it any easier for other people and to basically replicate our business model. And of course, our business model is 100 layers deep. I couldn't even begin to explain to you what we have going on behind the scenes. What you guys see as leads, that is like the tip of the iceberg. It really is, like it's the core product, but it really is the tip of the iceberg. Most of the work is behind the scenes. You never see it. And it's not just on the lead generation side. Managing a business on the internet takes a lot more. I mean, think about it. We're selling leads. If it was just as simple as hiring virtual assistants to do it right, if it was just as easy as hiring virtual assistants, you would see myself or Gabe or both of us, and that's it. I wouldn't have Taylor, Cindy, Clark, Brian, Kevin, Charles, Mary Jo, Devin. Okay.
That's just our American team.
Bam. That's just our American team. We would need all those people to help us run this operation if it was as simple as just hiring virtual assistants. It's not. So, but when it comes to hiring virtual assistants, because for a lot of you to hire 1 or 2 or 3 virtual assistants, it's going to be as simple as some of the stuff I'm about to show you. So real quick though, one of the first ways that we protect your data, the data you're buying from OA Cheddar internally, okay, within our own company, within our own organization, is we have a tiered exposure system, okay? Very few people on our team are able to see all the data at any given time. And they are the most trusted individuals. Most of them are Americans. A few of them are virtual assistants that we have built a relationship with of trust and integrity over a 4 or 5 year period of time. No one else gets to see all the data. So the way it works is every lead generator has their own system. They're bringing in their own leads. Every lead generator, which is about 3 to 4 lead generators, is under a team leader who's also a lead generator. That all of the team leader can only see access to their own team's leads. So team lead 1, which is right here on the left in orange, they have access to their own leads, and then 3 other lead generators. And that goes through a curating, a quality check. Okay. Team 2, and there's actually multiple teams. There's like, how many teams do we have, Taylor? 7?
6.
6. So there's 6 different teams. So 6 different team leads. And then in each team consists of a team leader and about 2 to 4 lead generators. Usually we try to keep it around 3 lead generators per team lead.
Now
Okay,
each
so
team
leads, go ahead.
Now each team leader is also a trusted person who's worked for us for multiple years, has earned our trust, has shown based off of their decisions and choices and work ethics that they care about this company and that they are dedicated to protecting it, because they know, just like how we know, that all together is how the boat rises, that we're all in it together. And so I just wanted to add that in there about team leaders.
So once the team leader curates the leads, does a vetting on them, then they are picked up by the quality control team. This quality control team is the only team, the only individuals on our organization that get to see all the data except for myself, Taylor, Gabe, or Cindy, okay? And a few others. Well, really, no, that's pretty much it, the quality control team. So they can see all the data. The replen team, they can see all the data that is over 60 days old, okay? So they have access to Cheddarsoft and their own sorting system, and they're running through. This is why we keep telling you guys, Cheddarsoft, you should be using it. We literally generate the replens on your spreadsheets. That is because our team has access to Cheddarsoft. We used to do it with spreadsheets. It was a pain in the ass. We gave them access to software, and they were like, "Thank you so much. This has made my life so much easier." And again, that they are not able to see anything that is less than 60 days old. Once it's reaching a 60-day old since it's been last delivered, that's when it'll show up in their system, and then they can start sourcing replenishables off of it. So even the replen team, who has access to a lot of data, doesn't have access to the freshest data ever. Okay.
And also access to their software is also limited. They don't have nearly the same type of features that you guys have with Cheddarsoft, who are subscribed. There's also timestamps, logs that track, when they're working, when they're logged in, when they're not. And that correlates also with some of the other systems that will go down as well. But also know that replen team is gated in many ways and also heavily watched.
There's also only a couple people on the replen team who can see all the replens that are being found every day. So it's kind of the same system. You got replen 1. I forgot to draft this up, but replen 1, replen 2, replen 3, and then replen team leader is basically the one that it can see all the replens. Okay. So again, even the replen side of the system is tiered exposure. And then it goes from our quality control team to our subscribers. Okay. This is something that we've implemented more recently. I would say that in hindsight, not even in hindsight, I just think that this is something that we had talked about and should have done a long time ago. We finally pulled the trigger recently and hired on Upwork. We hired a Filipino lawyer, and he drafted up subcontractor agreements, non-disclosures, and advised us to collect photo ID for all of our team members. So all of our team members have signed these contracts. I think we have one that is pending. We're working through that. We're trying to figure that out. We also had one of our team members who's been with us several years leave without signing the contract. As soon as we don't know what the exact reason is. We just know that soon after we launched the the requirement to sign these agreements. One of our team members left. If I were to speculate, that could mean that we needed her to leave, okay, or them to leave. And so everybody is under contract. They're held liable if they are to be found out to be working for somebody else in the same field of lead generation while working for us. If they find out that they're sharing leads outside of our organization, that would be a breach of contract, et cetera, et cetera. We have photo ID because if you're going to sue somebody, you need to know where they live. Okay. Probably not going to sue anybody in the Philippines, but this is enough to prevent that. The next thing we do, and this is something very simple, right? If the contract sounds scary, by the way, let's go back. If the contract sounds scary, by the way, just go do a search on Google for ready to use contractor agreements, ready to use non-disclosure agreements. You're going to see pages and pages of results of services that you can sign up for a measly, maybe $50, and have access to a bunch of contracts where it literally walks you through and prompts you to fill in certain sections based on your business model. You don't have to even hire a lawyer to do this. We did because it's easier and it makes sure that we cover all of our bases. But in a lot of senses, to get a basic contract, it's really not difficult to do. So don't overcomplicate it. Oopsie. Okay, so accountability, guys, screenshot monitor. We've been doing this since day one. All lead generation activity is recorded via screenshot monitor. Hub staff does this. You can just go into Google, search screenshot capture service or something like that. And once again, you're going to see pages and pages of softwares that you can sign up for, invite your team to. And what most of these services do, and what Screenshot Monitor does in particular, is it takes a picture of their monitor every 2 minutes. Okay. And you may not think that you can actually detect inauthentic behavior or non-organic behavior. You can, right? Because what you'll have is if you have more, like for us, we have dozens of lead generators. I got lead generators that I trust that I would leave my children with. Okay. When I compare their screenshots to the screenshots of someone else, that's the contrast. What's going on here? A couple of tips. If you're going to do screen capturing, and Taylor, maybe we can wrap on this for a couple minutes. First one, make sure that you have the correct time zone set up when you're looking at it, right? If you're using Google Sheets, right? Every time they input any type of data in that sheet, it is timestamped. Okay, that can correlate with the screenshots. Another thing we've seen, and we've had to remove people from our team, and one of the little tricks is to open up dozens and dozens and dozens of tabs and to just sit there and click through tabs while watching a movie or something else, right?
Yeah,
People will get fired for that.
I would say this, the big thing with Screenshot Monitor or any program like this is it gives you accountability and it gives you a way to go back in and investigate somebody's work. If you have any suspicions, you have a tool that you can go back in and look, and you will pick it up. You will see the type of behavior. It can be time theft. If you think that your VAs is kind of clicking around and keeping things active, but not really doing any work, this helps keep them accountable with it. It also works as your time card. Very easy. They log in, it tracks their time. That's what they can bill you for. Makes it super simple there. And again, going back in and finding, possible, bad acting or issues, or if they're working for another Amazon seller while they're working for you and sharing the same data to both of them, because it'd be so easy to do that. And that's a very common thing, not only in the Philippines, but even here in America, is becoming more of a common thing to work for multiple people doing a virtual type job and milking off of 3 different income sources. This has probably been the easiest tool that we can implement that helps keep accountability and helps give us some type of understanding of what's going on in our business with our team that lives on the other half of the world or on the other side of the world. Because in the end of the day, guys, if you're hiring a VA, they're working on the other side of the world. They have no connection with you. You're just a guy or gal who's paying them. So this is a great way to give you the tools that are needed. And then there's other things as well that we put into our team that also helps keep people accountable and just really help create a good culture and climate.
Yeah. If you're paying somebody by the hour, you need to have some sense of what they're doing. If you're, I know we're running on time, but the other thing I would say is a couple things. it's very easy for virtual assistants or anybody, right? People in the same field to communicate and share data. If you're paying someone 8 hours a day and you're not recording their work and they're delivering data to you, I would bet I'd give it a 50% chance that that data is not being organically created under the time that you're paying for. That's just my opinion. We've had so many times, and here's the thing: we have interviewed a ton of people. As soon as they find out we're doing something like this, they ghost us. We never hear from them again, because because they're looking for a double dip or a triple dip. They're not looking for accountability. They're not looking for a real job. They're looking for a quick buck. And so that's what I'm saying. This is happening across the board at all levels and facets. So if you are hiring virtual assistants, please monitor their work. I'll give you one more thing before you think that this is invasive or something else. I have a friend, his mother works for the clinic here in town. And when she went to work for them as a data cruncher, insurance, whatever, not only do they record not just screenshots, but every second of her work, right? Literally like a movie. Okay. But she's working on their systems. So when she got hired, they came in and they wired up the whole system, installed the computer. Her whole workstation is owned by the clinic. You can't do that. Obviously, we can't do that because we don't have that type of weight. We're not charging insurance companies for our services. So at least do this at a minimum. Okay. Another thing we do is transparent social media. Taylor, I'll let you kind of rip on this one.
So yeah, when it comes to transparency, we're connected with all of our team. We're friends with them on social medias. We know we see the posts that they put out, the pictures they put out. We're involved in their lives in some way. We believe that's an important thing because, one, sometimes people don't do silly things and they post something they probably shouldn't have and forgot that maybe their boss is their friend. But also it just helps show, it helps us understand what's going on in their lives. If a family member is sick, or if maybe their wife or themselves get pregnant, we want to know those things. If they have a baby, we want to celebrate those things. So transparency is a big one. Communication is a huge one. It really just helps. It helps lift up the veil that is the distance that you have between you and your team. Because again, you're half a world away. You need to create some type of culture inside of your team for them to thrive and want to do right by you, and also work hard for you and work hard for each other and things like that.
Yep. So next one, guys, is just like team culture in general. So what you're seeing here, I'll just kind of go through these images, explain what we're talking about. One of the fun things we do every year is a white elephant gift exchange, right? It's just an opportunity for us to really just have a virtual party. And what we do is there's like a service on the internet. We sign up for it. We tee it up with a whole bunch of gifts from Shopee, which is like the Philippine Amazon. We tee it up with a bunch of gifts. You can see a couple pictures. Like, for example, this vacuum is a gift that someone received in our most recent gift exchange. And then we just play one big like 2-hour white elephant gift exchange. We laugh. Some people dress up with lights and hats, and we just have a good time. And so it's just really a good team building opportunity. Another thing that Taylor has really stepped up on, and we've always done this, but we've really made an effort this year, especially Taylor, I would say, is getting on Zoom with the team. He meets with our team leaders. He meets with our replen team. He meets with our quality control team, and he meets with all of our lead generators, like basically once a week. And I think that's really actually fostered really good family, really good culture, even just more so this year. Of course, we pay the 13th month. If you're not aware of what that is, in the Philippines, it's commonplace. In fact, I think technically law for companies in the Philippines actually to provide a 13th month payment to their team. We take an average of what they've earned over a variety of months, usually the more recent months, because they make more money actually closer to Q4. And then we make them a payment, and it's just basically a free month's, not a free, but they've earned it. It's a Christmas bonus essentially. Right. Cheddar Black, when we run that promotion, that's usually what funds it. So birthday gifts, you can see that in the bottom right corner. That's just an example. Cindy gets all the credit for this. Cindy gets all the credit actually for the birthday gifts. the new baby gifts, loving on our team, and just making herself available. But you can see here, these are some custom items that she's put together for each team member. So when it's their birthday, they get a gift package. If they have a new baby, not only do they get paid time off to fall in love with that child and take care of it and heal, but they also get a gift in the mail. So just another way that we love on our family, our family. That actually slipped. But really, like, this is a way that we love on our family and let them know that we prioritize them as humans, and that they're not just a member of the team, but they're a member of a family.
That is probably one of the best things you can do for your team is create some sort of culture. Learn who they are, learn what's going on in their lives, pour into them. They will pour back into you tenfold if you do so. Can't stress that enough, guys. You need to make friends with your team. Okay. They need to understand who you are, that you're a real person, have feelings, have ambitions and goals for your family, just like how they do. So that way you guys can be on the same common ground and work together to achieve each other's goals. Because as they help you achieve your goal, you're helping them achieve their goal. And if you can get them to understand that and believe it, then you're going to have yourself a great team member.
Yep. So I plugged this in. This is a fun video from one of our team members. He's actually like famous in the Philippines for reggae. And he shared this video in our group chat after he received his white elephant Christmas gift. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I'll turn my volume up.
Thank you very much. OA Cheddar family. Merry Christmas.
I love it at the end. Merry Christmas. The dude sounds like Bob Marley.
He straight up does. He's actually incredibly talented. We've watched a bunch of videos of him, and yeah, when our team found out that, I'll just say, right, when they found out that he joined the team, they were like, "This can't be real. Is this the guy? Is this him?" And we were like, "Dude, it's him." Actually, we didn't even know it was him. And then he was like, "Yeah. I'm a guy. I'm the guy." And they're like, "Dude, how cool is this?" So anyway, he's a team leader actually, on our team, and he's been with us several years. His wife and sister-in-law also work for us. Oh. Let's just watch it again.
No, let's skip to the next slide. Go on.
Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. All right. So all of that, guys, the whole point is we want our team to prioritize Cheddar as the most important entity in the group, right? Like, I'm not the most important part of the company. Taylor, Gabe, Cindy, our Filipino team, our virtual assistants, our software developers, nobody is the priority. The company is the priority. And if we all put OA Cheddar as our priority in our hearts and minds in regards to business, that's how we protect the company. And we always tell the team, we press on these things. We share, we remind you of how important it is to keep the data for OA Cheddar exclusive, because if we don't, then it's going to affect our customers. It's going to affect our team. It's going to tear the company down. And so basically, understanding that, like, you can't put your own initiatives and your own selfish desire above the company, right? The company has to be the most important thing. And I think that's something that, we've done a good job of over time. And Taylor, I'll just pass it over to you.
I want to add one last little thing with the screen monitor shot that we forgot to mention. And this isn't something that I would say necessarily everyone needs to do all the time right away, but periodically it's really important to do so. But that's randomly auditing your team as well. So we have Cindy again, Cindy's the bomb. And we also have a gal named Mary Jo, who also lives here in the United States. We know her personally. And one of their jobs, they go through and just periodically randomly audit through someone's screenshots just to see if there's anything that catches their attention that might, that we might need to question or raise the alarm about. And again, that's just us wanting to go the extra step to make sure that not only our leads are protected and secured inside of, when we deliver it to you guys, but also internally into our team, making sure that there isn't any leaks. And you know what, guys, it happens. I am sorry, but we've worked with VAs long enough that I can say this, with Shirley, that you can have somebody working for you for years and you can have a relationship with them and be trusted. And still at the same time, you can end up finding out something horrible. Just recently, we had a gal on our team, was with us for many years, knew her, understood. She was approached by somebody else, another Amazon seller out there in the business who found her, whatever, started, approaching her with all these offers, finally offered her an offer too good to pass up. And she ended up, starting to do the double dipping. We were made aware of it. We found out about it. We took action. And unfortunately, we had to let her go. And it just goes to show that no matter what, even though with building a culture, paying a fair wage, you don't know what the outside influences are into your team. It could be stresses with their family life. It could be friends trying to convince them to join in on them on their little, double dipping scheme that they're doing. Or it could be even American sellers who are approaching, team members and offering them, high paying positions. The sad thing about that story at the end of the day is that American, who, shame on him, tried to get one of our team members, pursuing her in a somewhat of a romantic way, tried to get her to fly to the United States, ended up, realizing that she didn't have the same feelings towards him, and then leveraged the fact that he knew that she was double dipping to work against her and blackmailed her for that. And so, unfortunately, again, there is bad apples everywhere you go. So I just want to put that out there. We randomly check our team. We love our team. We trust our team, but we're not foolish enough to assume that everybody on our team is doing everything right, because frankly, there's just too many outside influences that get in. Same thing that if you were a business owner in a brick and mortar, you wouldn't just blindly, you'd still put up security cameras, even though you trust your team.
Yep.
It's the same principle.
Leave them on once you're closed, right?
Yep.
You would. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We do all of these things. We try our best, and even then we get hurt, right? Honestly, like that's the only way to say it.
All right.
Oops, sorry. So, all right. So we have some more security things that we will be talking about. So that's like really kind of, guys, that's like our whole team thing. There's more to it. There's more dynamics and angles and facets to it, but that's really the core of it. Hopefully you learned something of value there, but there's more we have to do, right? There's more we have to do now that we know about these fraudulent leadless providers and the prospect of them buying data and reselling it and how simple that can really be for them. We have to ramp up security at OA Cheddar. Not just, we've done what we could do on the team side. By the way, if you know of anything else we can do to secure our team, let us know. We're open. We're willing to learn new things and add more facets of security on the team side. But right now, our focus is totally diverted towards how do we secure the leads for our customers, right? On the customer side, on the purchasing, on the merchant / consumer side of the company. And that's unfortunately not something we wanted to do. None of these things we really want to do, but the world is full of sin, right? Let's just be honest about it. Like, we're all born sinners, and then we learn to be good, right? And unfortunately, not all of us learn to have high integrity and high levels of honesty and transparency and stuff like that. So we are working towards securing the customer side. So what we believe at our core is that the leadless companies that prioritize data security will be the ones with the best leads, the best customer service, and of course, put the most profits in the pocket of their customers. So that's why we're moving forward with, as you guys might have noticed, we emailed you on Friday. All leadless delivery is going to be via Cheddarsoft. Okay. Taylor, why don't you talk a little bit about why having our data delivered through Cheddarsoft as opposed to Google spreadsheets gives us the ability to secure the data?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Grant said, we'll be moving everyone and all delivery into Cheddarsoft. The reason for this is it gives a little bit more control in our hands to be able to make sure that there isn't any unnecessary leaks. When you're sending out a Google sheet, it's as simple as copying that data and then pasting it to somewhere else and sending it to somebody, or sharing it on whatever platform we want to. So we want to secure that up a little bit more, and Cheddarsoft allows us to do that. So when you log in or when you sign up for one of our lead lists, you have the ability to create a free account for Cheddarsoft. I want to note that free account doesn't give you full access to all the available options in Cheddarsoft, but it does allow you to log in, view your data, and then download it. Now, you may be asking, well, Taylor, if I can download this data, isn't that the same thing as a Google Sheet? And my answer would be no. There's one thing that we can do. When you download, I am able to see who downloaded, where, if that helps get, us as far as, evaluating threats. But also there's some other tips or not tips. There's other tools that we have via Cheddarsoft that I'm not going to discuss because frankly, it would be foolish to discuss those things. But just know that there are systems in place that if somebody is being nefarious and taking our data and selling it somewhere else, we will be able to track that person down very quickly and identify who they are and then remove them from our system. So that's why we're going to Cheddarsoft. It's our server. We have the full control there. There's other tools that we have the ability to turn on and use if needed to be able to make sure that if we do have any suspicions of any data breaching or security. And this is just one step. This is the biggest step that we could take to starting to secure up our leads. We believe that more leadless providers need to also be stepping up as well and improving their security. Because I'll talk about more about why this is such a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, the days of delivering leads via spreadsheets and just sending it out into the ether and hoping for the best and assuming that everyone who receives that data has good intentions are over.
Mm-hmm.
They're over, right? There's been enough evidence, and again, with talking with other providers and hearing their concerns that are similar to ours, we have to do some things to tighten things up, and we have to know our customer, right? Like we know our team. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know our team very well. And even then, right, some bad actors get in there and they hang out and then they make a mistake and lose a good paying job. We gotta also know our customers on the same level. And we're not going to get into that in detail today. We have more to share with you as we move forward. Oh, by the way, you should have received an email. So if you are a subscriber to OA Cheddar, you should have received an email Friday explaining that how to get into Cheddarsoft, everything, why we're doing what we're doing, sort of just starting the conversation. You have until the 3rd of April. By the 3rd of April, we will not provide you a spreadsheet. Okay, so you have to have your free Cheddarsoft account at a minimum. You can buy the paid version if you want to use smart data, buy list orders, and all of that stuff. But if you want to read the article, whether you're a subscriber or not, you can go to oacheddar.com / and then notice your OA Cheddar subscription.
I put it in the chat.
About to change. Taylor added it to the chat. So the link's right here at the bottom if you want to take a look at that post. All right. Hey, we got the dog.
I don't want to talk about this one. So we are excited to announce our new Fraudster reward program. So guys, we are a team. Okay, here at OA Cheddar, we have a fantastic team, but we are only so many people. We need your guys' help to be on the lookout. This is probably the biggest way that we can protect our leads is that we all work together as OA Cheddar leadless subscribers to make sure that everyone is playing fairly. And if you find or have any suspicion of some wrongful actions, alerting that to us. So here's the deal. If you find that if you're subscribed to one of our lead lists and you're finding our leads are also showing up on somebody else's lead list, please report it to us. We will do our own internal investigation. And if we deem and realize that, yes, there is a leak in our system and it's coming from this place, we are going to reward you with $500 for that information. We will then take the actions necessary to get that leak to stop, whether it's identifying that person, having our legal team send out cease and desist letters and pursue legal actions against that company. We take this extremely seriously, guys. So we're offering up this new program, $500 if you come to us with information of a possible leadless provider reselling our data. We will do that. We will launch our own investigation. We have people in place that will help us do that. So that's our new Fraudster reward program. You find evidence, report it to us. We find that evidence is true. You'll be rewarded with $500 cash money in hand. Not really. I'll transfer it to you Venmo or PayPal or one of those methods, but you get what I'm saying.
We'll probably have you invoice us. In all reality, we're going to need you to invoice us. You're probably going to have to claim it on your taxes. Yeah, all that good stuff. But yeah, $500. yeah, if you suspect any type of fraudulent activity, whether it's a virtual assistant or a provider out there in the internet world that might be reselling OA Cheddar data for a quick dollar, let us know. You can email us at team@oacheddar.com to report that potential fraud. We will launch an investigation and take them down. All right. So that's how that works. And the reason why we're asking you guys is because there, like Taylor said, there's 450 strong of you guys, and there's like 50 of us. We can't go out there and subscribe to every lead list and monitor everything they're doing. We know that our subscribers are subscribing to other providers out there. So there's a chance you could pick it up and let us know. So there's more to come. There is more to come, right? Right now, we need you guys, if you are a subscriber, to get inside of Cheddarsoft, start practicing receiving your leads via Cheddarsoft. We were only going to make that platform better. It's the same exact data. Yes, you can download it, but there will be more security protocols and systems in place behind that. Wait and see. Okay. And here's the cool thing, guys. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, why are they making us do this? And I get it. Here's the thing. If we can secure your data on our team side and we can secure your data on the customer side, if we know who our customers are, right? And we only let certain people through the door, right? And they don't get to see certain data unless they go through a couple of hoops, then you can know that OA Cheddar data is secure.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the best leads in the industry are being sold at oacheddar.com until some other providers pick up this message and start implementing these systems in their own business. And by the way, none of this is cheap. None of this we want to do. We just have to, right? We have to do it for the greater good of our customers, for our team, for our company, and really for the industry as a whole. That's the whole point of this message. We're trying to do a service for the industry.
Perfect. So, all right, guys, we're going to be opening this up into Q&A. Grant, I will give us each a final thought before we end the call on this subject. So please, if you have any questions, put it in the chat, use the Q&A section. I promise you that we will answer your questions before we finish up. Something I want to point out in the chat, Ed Dassey came in and said, using Screenshot Monitor increased productivity in my VAs. Imagine that. So awesome to hear that, Ed. Yes, when you have put accountability to your team, it's going to keep them accountable. And I think that's what Screenshot Monitor is one of the easiest ways to do it. So scrolling down a little bit, I want to go to Christopher Harley. He says, I like some of the questions about Give by Association. I've got a lot of skin in the game with you guys for lead list, proven prep. I'm behind you guys 100%. But if I buy leads elsewhere and it flags something in your software, what would happen? So nice thing is you can upload any leads from any lead list provider into the software. If there's leads that we've shared that they've also shared, it's not going to, there's not going to be a big deal. Now, granted, some of the tools and tricks that we have available to us allows us, to possibly see, hey, is there any cross-referencing? That could possibly be something. Our hopes too is to get more lead list providers on board with this security movement that we are trying to start, and get them to where we have some transparency among ourselves. Who knows, maybe some sort of like union or something like that, that would allow them to do it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But to have more transparency between data, so if there is some cross contamination, we're able to see and tell.
Right now, we have no intention of looking at your uploads, right? We don't really care where you're getting your leads from. It's really up to you guys to get leads from credible sources. Yes, some of the leads you buy elsewhere from credible sources will have also been found at OA Cheddar at one time or another. So we're not concerned about what you're uploading. What we're concerned about as we roll out some of these new features is just knowing who our customers are and having them on the same page. We want to make sure that our customers have the same carry the same responsibility of data security that we are. Now, obviously, I'm not going to come to your house and make sure you're running Screenshot Monitor, or that you have contracts with virtual assistants you're hiring. But I need to know that there are going to be, let me put it this way, there are going to be some hoops to jump through to become a customer of OA Cheddar that is going to literally purge people out. They're not going to want to buy here.
Right.
That's okay. That sucks. It sucks because, and it comes at a risk. That's why we said in the email, like, we realize that this might actually reduce some, cost us some subscriptions. But on the flip side, we're actually hoping, and I have a hunch that this is actually going to be one of the best things that we did for OA leads. And it's actually going to result in an increase in demand, because OA Cheddar is going to be the most secure lead source in the industry. So while it may come at a little bit of a risk, I think the upside potential is way greater. So yeah, we don't care where your leads come from. We'll make sure that only the right people see the data.
All right. Without divulging any secrets, how or where would you recommend going to hire VAs? Where we want to do so?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe consider reaching out to Kyle Curtis. Maybe, right? The guy, he was on our most recent, our previous call. He owns Proven Prep. Maybe reach out to Kyle Curtis and see if he has some VAs that you up for hire. Okay. Otherwise, go to onlinejobs.ph. That's where we pretty much have hired most of our team for virtual assistants. A lot of our team has actually been internally referred. Okay. So once we built up the team, we started to get, hey, I've got this good person. I trust them. They're cool. I can help train them. Can they come in and work for OA Cheddar as well? Okay, let's give them an interview. So hopefully that answers the question.
Make sure that your job post and your is detailed, that you set up your expectations, that you let them know that screenshot monitoring is a requirement, as well as other requirements that you might want to put out there. Again, the people who are looking to double dip, as soon as you mention to them, hey, you're going to be required to have some type of monitoring service, they'll usually find the exit themselves.
Yep.
So the other question is, how do you tell your VAs that you're going to be monitoring them? For us, it's super simple. It's just a simple job requirement to have the job. It works. It doubles as your time card. So this is how we record your time, as well as keep you accountable to our systems. Yeah, I think that.
I mean, when I was doing interviews, Mary Jo's picked up interviewing now, but when I was doing it, I'd flat out tell them, no double dipping, no working for someone else, no, buying leads from another source and selling them to me. Your work has to be authentic. I'll make sure it's authentic. That's how I use Screenshot Monitor, and I check the timestamps on your spreadsheets.
Yep.
And like I said,
most jobs make them do it. If they go work for any top company that outsources, they're all being monitored on their screens. Their phone calls are being monitored. Their time clocks are being monitored. You're asking them for a simple, basic business request when it comes to employment. So it really isn't something, you don't have to feel like you're violating somebody's space. If a potential employee has a problem with you monitoring them, they're not somebody you probably want to hire. The ones who have no problem with it know that they have nothing to hide. And since they have nothing to hide, they're more than happy to let, their screens be monitored while they're working.
Remember, your company is the most valuable player. It is the VIP. It is the MVP. It is everything. Your company, you aren't even as important as your company, right? Your LLC is the priority. You are the ambassador, right, of your company, right? And so if they're not willing to play by the rules, you don't want them anyway. Next, right? So yeah.
Michael Clark says here, great presentation. That really hits home. We fired several overseas VAs last year after coming to the conclusion that they were either selling us recycled leads and or reselling our leads that we were paying them for exclusively. Expensive lesson, but well learned. This happens, guys. If you don't think it's happening, it's totally happening. Okay. There was a time when we first started this business, when I put out a job posting, I might get 20 people in a day to apply to it. Okay. Now, if I put out the same job posting, I have hundreds of people signing up to apply for it. What does that tell you? The pandemic changed things a little bit. Okay. If you thought that America was hit hard enough with the pandemic, Philippines was hit much harder. A lot of brick and mortar office type jobs were gone. People were jobless. So what did they do? They turned to virtual work. This was a huge provider. This is a huge industry, right? Finding leads for Amazon, working for Amazon sellers is a major multi-million-dollar industry in the Philippines. Okay. If the money is there, and this is the same thing why we're seeing pop up lead lists, the money is there. And if there's enough money there, people will find a way to try to come and get a piece of it for themselves. And that can either be from working hard, creating businesses and doing it ethically, or it can come from cheating, scamming, and trying to take advantage of others to prosper themselves. So really important information, guys, especially if you're running a team. Okay. Make sure that you guys are just giving some basic checks on them, keeping them accountable. You'll reap the benefits from it. They're going to reap the benefits from it as well, because the good eggs in your team, the ones who are coming and doing an honest day's work, they want to be protected. They don't want to be lumped in with the bad eggs. Okay. So, perfect, Grant. I know we're already over time. I think that it's time that we spin this wheel. I don't have any more questions. Last chance, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask it inside the chat. If this was helpful for you and you enjoyed this and you learned something from this presentation, please just give us a thumbs up or a yes in the chat, letting us know that us talking about this and pulling back the curtains of OA Cheddar a little bit helped you. That's what we're here for, guys. Honestly, at the end of the day, we know that the more value that we provide to you guys, the better off not only you are going to be, but we are going to be. We all rise together. What was it called? Was the saying, all rising tide raises all ships. I think that's how it goes. And that's kind of where we're going. Perfect. Well, let's give away some prizes. So remember the rules. You have to be on the live here. We have a total of only 13 people here, so there's a good chance that you could win a shirt. So let me switch back over to my computer screen. Okay, I got my nice fancy wheel here with the list of everyone who registered. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of winning a t-shirt, you got to register for the live, and you got to be here live to pick it up. So let's go first to our first winner. And it looks like Jeff Roten. Do we have a Jeff Roten in the building? All right. We're going to move on to the next one, guys. We're moving this nice and quick, so that way we can get you guys back to your evening. Joshua Baker.
No.
Okay. Yeah, and
Two
we're
more
going to be
spins. We don't get somebody 2 more spins, then we're going to pick them randomly just from the list here.
That sounds good. Glenn,
no.
I don't think we've ever had to do this many spins.
No.
Pauline.
Who is it? Pauline?
Pauline Suh.
No, Pauline. Nope, she missed out. All right. So, Taylor, I don't know if you remember who we've given shirts to yet, but I feel like Christopher Harley sounds like a new person. He hasn't gotten a shirt yet. Christopher, have you gotten a shirt from us?
No, I don't think he has.
Sweet cheddar cheese shirt. Christopher Harley, you get a shirt.
Show some love.
Not yet. Okay.
Liz, we know we've gotten you.
Ed Dassey, has Ed Dassey gotten a shirt yet?
I'm going to just close my eyes. I'm going to just move my hand up and down, touch it on my computer screen. Michael Clark.
Perfect. I was actually thinking him. Because he shared what happened with him. I think that's pretty cool. Thank you for being so transparent, Michael Clark.
So Michael and Christopher, I want you guys to email us at support@OA Cheddar. Let Cindy know what your shirt sizes are and your address, and she will get you guys sent over an exclusive OA Cheddar t-shirt. There's only so many of these out there. I think we've only given away 4 total. So other than the internal team and the team over in the Philippines, 4 other of you lucky sellers have an OA Cheddar t-shirt. And Michael and Christopher, you both are new additions to the Cheddar team. I finally have good news for Cindy. She loves this stuff. She loves giving out free gifts. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining us for this episode. Again, we're looking for show names. So please put them in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and just comment below. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment inside of our Facebook group. Reminder, we do have a buy one, get one free sale for your first month on any of our OA Cheddar lead lists. These are specifically the Cheddar lead lists. OA Gouda is separate from this promotion. And that code again is BOGO first. We're going to put it into the chat. BOGO first. All right, guys. Other than that, you have a wonderful rest of your day. We will see you in 2 weeks from now. Other than that, you all have a good one.
Good night, everybody.